In the headlines, Accra REGSEC demolishes properties of encroachers on CSIR land at Frafraha. Finance Minister's explanation on how COVID-19 funds have been spent. Speaker of Parliament directs Finance and Health Committees to investigate COVID-19 expenditures. Graphic Business and Ghana Insurers Association organize insurance fair. Ebola simulation exercise in Tamale. And youth group in Bantama on how the NPP government is handling development projects in Ashanti. Welcome to Graphic Online's News in Brief. On Monday, the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council gave a 48-hour ultimatum for private developers who had encroached on a 200-acre land belonging to the Animal Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research to move or have their development demolished. Today, there was some action at the site at Frafraha in the Adenta municipality of the Greater Accra region. Our reporters Joshua Bediako-Kumsin and Ernest Koji were with the REGSEC team and sent in these videos.
The CSIR had complained over the years about the increasing level of encroachment of about 800 acres of its over 1,000-acre land in the Frafraha area. The chairman of the Greater Accra REGSEC, Henry Korte, told journalists today during the demolition exercise that other encroachers on the remaining 800-acre land of the CSIR will be given the chance to regularize their documents claiming ownership of the property.
For those who have lived around for 30 years or 20 years not knowing what their fate is, but today I can assure them that we will make strong recommendations for them to be able to regularize, or rather their documents regularized for them so they can have ownership. Again, after securing this place, just like I said at the beginning, we are not securing it to go and share it. It is the property of Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, the Animal Research Institute. They have the locus, they have the gravitas, and they decide what they want to do with their land.
In Parliament today, the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-atta responded to the call to come and answer questions on how much Ghana mobilized in resources to fight the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 and 2021 and how much has actually been utilized. Mr. Ofori-atta told Parliament that a total of 19.3 billion Ghana cedis was mobilized from various sources for the fight and about 12 billion has been spent as of now.
Support to households. Mr. Speaker, total amount programmed for the initiatives under the support to households in 2020 was 1.718 billion, out of which amount utilized was 1.55 billion. The details include a total amount of 12.1 million for the distribution of packed hot food in Accra, Makasua, and Greater Kumasi. This includes the cost of transportation of packed food in some suburbs of Greater Kumasi by NADMO. The expenditure for the provision of hot meals during the lockdown served about 2.7 million persons for the period of the lockdown at a unit cost of 4 cedis 32 pesos. A total amount of 42.24 million was expended on distribution of dry food packages through faith-based organizations in Greater Accra and Kumasi. A total of about 470,000 persons received these food packages. An amount of 556 million was budgeted in 2020 for this program, out of which 456 million was utilized. In 2021, a total allocation of 200 million Ghana cedis was made for the provision of free water and electricity for lifeline consumers, out of which 143 million was utilized.
After his answer, members of Parliament from both sides had this to say.
My argument is that if you've mobilized 19 billion and you've spent 12 billion, at least give us an indication. You receive IMF 1 billion. You are telling us that you raised a bond of 10 billion. You're also telling us that you had some sources from World Bank. You've given us the numbers, but you have spent 12 billion. Give us an idea where the rest of the money is. I'm asking you that this committee must be established by this House, chaired by a member of the Minority Committee.
I believe that if we are dealing with expenditures at the Ministry of Health, the Health Committee has the capacity. In any event, I see this call for a special committee as a rehash, as another approach to reintroduce a motion that was defeated on this House on procedural grounds. Mr. Speaker, we demand that you will refer this statement to a committee of Parliament, whether it's an existing committee or a standing committee, to probe COVID expenditure beyond the headline numbers, and for this committee to demand expenditure returns.
COVID expenditures were incurred by Parliament. There are subject matter committees that have the responsibility of tracing and tracking these expenditures. And if there are subject matter committees that can have responsibility, why can't we ask for the setting up of an ad hoc committee? Mr. Speaker, as far as I'm concerned, it has no basis.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagman in his ruling directed the Committees of Health and Finance to investigate the COVID-19 expenditures by the government from 2020 to 2022.
I direct that the Committee of Finance, ably supported by the Committee of Health, should investigate and inquire into the total receipts referred to as COVID-19 funds and how those funds were applied for the betterment of the people of this country. It's very, very important for us to do that, to allay the fears of Ghanaians. And this matter is of serious public concern. I want to add that the committee should expedite action on this matter.
A former Ghana Insurance Association president, Emmanuel Baba Mahama, is urging all insurance companies to understand, create, communicate, and deliver values to suit customer needs. He says that will attract the public to purchase insurance packages, which will in turn increase insurance coverage and subsequently have a significant impact on the economy.
Mr. Mahama was speaking at the opening ceremony of the Insurance Supplement Fair held by the Association and Graphic Business in Accra today as part of the Insurance Awareness Month. The event was on the theme, Making Insurance the Ghanaian Way of Life.
So, if we don't develop the informal sector strongly, seeing that it covers 80% of the population, then we are only just spending time on a small piece of the cake. And we are growing in numbers every day in terms of the number of insurance companies, brokers, and agents. If we are fighting in that small turf of 20%, 25%, then it is dog eat dog. We won't get value for the products we give to them, because to get them to even think of buying the 20%, buying more, then we must cut our prices lower and lower. So the informal sector is a very strong area where insurance should be pushed.
There was a simulation exercise in Tamale today on how to handle an Ebola outbreak. And before we go, our reporter in Kumasi, Kwejoba for Donko, reports a youth group from Bantama have issues with how the new Patriotic Party government is handling development projects in the Ashanti region. They expressed their views at a press conference today.
Budget here, na a woman sent because was Ashanti. The Edikan Angloga fly over. Now budget him. And so you semi jam tra Munkona Munko fly over no airport runabout fly over. And also everyone you remember call and sana de betini enye and central for Munko ya Mumekan That's what make a mess. They told to be a swami interchange. Never budget him a Santa Mesica boat and the other Ghana. A box out here between a Mampanidia Cosia what sign no hydra was what the Bayan put. I was your first Santa for you did be a Yana. Santa Maya did be a Yana. And as they said, the MPP are buying a year for me. So we go after the military hospital one. Baby, cementing in our cake. I can't room. I'm ranting about one echo a high on it and keep on the bay. And you're not a basis to say. As someone or we are suffering for Kai or 2 months for someone once and my please say a little I won't put to Bayan and Legon Medical Clinic, Wamo Acopa Center, Wamokopa Hontuma. na ebia ne afaridie eso aye lego die nti na wonye Kumase die ana Asante mamu die empumpu nyina ekoso ewe Parliamentary history yes ya Ghana for enipadom ato abama MPP no enipadom a okọ parliament raso adwafia enipadom a ewo ho no region matam bia ne woni wo MPs
Graphic Online's News in Brief is brought to you by Graphic News Plus.
Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Visit us on graphic.com.gh for further information. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
Thank you for watching. For more news, please visit our website graphic.com.gh or follow us on Facebook at Daily Graphic, YouTube and Twitter at GraphicGH. I am Juliet Echan Safo.
Subscribe now.